you. So I would like to welcome all the participants to this final session of our FDP, that is on recent trends in electric vehicles and battery charging infrastructures. So for this session, we have with us resource person from Prince Sultania University, the Prince Sultania University, Dubai, Dr. Umashankar Subramaniam sir. I extend my warm welcome to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us for your valuable session for today. Dr. Umashankar Subramaniam sir, he completed his master's and PhD from VIT Vellore. He has also worked as associate professor and HOD in electrical engineering department of VIT Vellore. He has also worked as senior R&D engineer and quality coordinator in General Electrics in Chennai before joining to this teaching profession. He has published so many papers in reputed national and international journals, and he is also the reviewer in IEEE section. Sir, it's a great pleasure that you are with us, sir. And once again, I welcome you for this FDP, sir. And I request you to proceed with the session, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much for your wonderful gesture. I hope so. Can we start now? Am I audible?
Yeah, audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, very good afternoon to everyone present here for this wonderful afternoon of this faculty development program. So, hope you had many expert would have discussed about this. But today I am going to discuss about this trends in EV charging infrastructure. So, which is trend changer now in India. So both the government of India as well as the state governments, so they have established more policies towards this EV charging infrastructure as well as electric vehicle fleet. And there are various private industries as well as the companies, so they have joined this initiative and they are doing very good. And recently Mahindra, then so many multinational companies, Maruti, Hyundai, Nissan. So all those companies they have joined. But the very first EV has been introduced by Reva in Bangalore. So they are the one and they are pioneer in this market, and still their vehicles are running in Bangalore. And they have a huge number of EV charging in Bangalore. So this is the history of this EV charging and what the government policies they are doing it. So before going to this, so what motivated for this EV charging? So we are talking about electric vehicle, fine. But do we have enough charging infrastructure? No, frankly speaking. Because India has recently started this national solar mission, and in fact, the wind implementations or installations have been happening for the past 25 years. But still, which is not used for charging the EV, which is mostly connected to the grid for distributing to the commercial as well as the industrial sector. So if this is the case, so how we can expect charging infrastructure in India, and that too from green? Because if you get the electricity from the thermal power plant and coal or any other fossil fuel, then it doesn't be the green EV charging. So it's again you are polluting it, polluting the environment, polluting the country. Okay. So to avoid this, we need a very good green EV charging infrastructure, especially photovoltaic or fuel cell or renewable based. Okay. So this is what the expectation in the coming years. So hopefully, as per the central government's plan, they want to make all the two-wheelers by electric two-wheelers in 2025 and all the four-wheelers as electric car by 2030. So this is what their plan, and accordingly, we need to focus on this charging infrastructure rapidly. That too rapidly. Otherwise, you cannot meet. Okay, so then if the number of vehicles is increasing, so it's something like exponentially. So in that case, so we need to plan the EV charging infrastructure in the double or triple the time. Okay. So the motivation is to participate in the climate change program. So recently, you might have seen the news. Uttarakhand, there is a glacier. It melted and it totally collapses the dam, as well as some projects in the Uttarakhand, and many lives also. So we lost. So this is the case. So that's the reason. So why most of the countries, they are urging to go for climate change to protect the climate of the entire world. So, and next thing is the urban air pollution. So this also we discussed a lot in the during the COVID-19, and even many people claim that the atmosphere was very clean during the COVID-19. So where there is no commutation between the cities. And another thing is the carbon neutral. So recently, Elon Musk from Tesla, so he announced that he's going to invest around $100 million for this carbon neutral solutions and products. So if this is the case, so just imagine this is going to be the goal changer in the near future. But at the same time, do we have enough infrastructure in the grid? No. So even though the power grid or POSOCO, so they are implementing various projects. So it's only for supplying to the consumer as well as the industrial loads, not for the EV charging especially. So if this is the case, so what we need to focus is very, very important in the coming 5 to 10 years. When we discuss about the electric vehicles, so you know very well, you might have also seen the electric vehicles on the road. But if you see at present scenario, so we have more majority is IC engine vehicle and a few plug-in and battery electric vehicles. So if this is the case, so the projection is like in 2025, this will be just reversed exactly. And in 2026 onwards, it is expected that only the battery electric vehicles will dominate. So if this is the case, so what we are focusing, okay, is very, very important. And now if you look at it, so this battery EV is going to be dominated rather than hybrid EVs, because I have seen hybrid EVs even now. Okay, so if this is the case, so now you think about the battery electric vehicles, so which could be the game changer, and there will be more and more industries going to work on this, and there is more production as well as the requirement of engineers in this particular domain, especially computer science, communication, and electrical mechanical engineers or mechatronics engineers, or more. Okay, especially. And I can say that electrical engineers requirement will be much more maybe in the coming 5 to 10 years. So those who graduate in this 5 to 10 years, so will be getting a very good opportunity, especially if you are skilled in any of these domains. So when you look at the global comparison, so this is the comparison. So Norway is dominating, then Estonia, then Netherlands, Japan, Belgium, US, Denmark, France, Austria. So likewise, it's going on. So in Asia Pacific region, if you look at it, China is the only country, and apart from that, you have Australia and New Zealand is participating. So India is yet to enter into this global feat. The next thing is about we are talking about battery EV. So that's what it is expected to grow. So in this scenario, so we need more and more storage elements. So if you look at the storage technologies, India is not new to storage technology. India has vast storage technologies. So we have many mechanical storage systems like pumped energy storage, compressed air reservoir, flywheel energy storage, which we have already connected with our power system. And the next thing is about electrical storage. So which is also they are doing the research, but which is not yet to be full-fledged or commercialized. But now, when you look at this electric vehicle scenario, so the focus is towards electrochemical as well as the chemical storage. Why this electrochemical? Because this is the main component which is going to charge the or run the your electric vehicle, especially for driving your motor. So if this is the case, so now the focus is towards this battery-based storage system, which is nothing but electrochemical storage. So the lead acid, lithium ion is playing a huge role nowadays. And there is a research going on for redox flow batteries as well, so which is going to be the future. And when you look at the chemical storage, which is also getting much attention, even recently the central government announced hydrogen forum, hydrogen storage forum or something like that. So why? Because almost many countries they have established this forum, and Indian government also they have established recently, and this is going to be a game changer because the alternative to this battery is the hydrogen. So how you can generate the hydrogen? So you know very well. So from the water, so you will get hydrogen, and that hydrogen you can use it as a fuel for your vehicles, and or you can generate the electricity from the hydrogen. So this is what the ultimate plan. So these two are going to play a huge role in this. Apart from that, you have one more storage called thermal storage, which is mostly it's not useful for the electric vehicle, but it is used for other electrothermal or heating applications. Okay. So when we talk about this electrochemical storage, so battery is going to be much needed one in the coming years. So that's the reason if you see many companies they started manufacturing this lithium ion battery cell production. It is estimated to be 400 gigawatt hours per annum. Why? Because if you look at the EV battery, okay, so this requires a very high capacity. Whereas the hybrid electric vehicle or long vehicle or plug-in hybrid, if you see the capacity is very less, okay. And if you look at it, their requirement also it's a short time, okay. Whereas for battery electric vehicle, the requirement is for the long time. So the standby capacity is much more needed to run your vehicle. For example, if you are in Kolhapur, so if you want to travel to Pune or Mumbai, so your battery should be able to withstand that much 2-3 hours. Okay, so if this is the scenario, so you need a very high capacity battery which can stand for long duration. Okay, and let us have a look at this video. So where you can see. So you can see that it's a smart battery swapping solution, so which is introduced by Ashok Leyland and Sun Mobility. And if you look at it, this is the very fastest battery swapping solution introduced in the Indian scenario, especially the companies like Ashok Leyland. So you can see that how the battery is swapped and how long it takes. It takes roughly very short duration, and this kind of battery swapping stations you can see in the coming years. So it takes roughly 3 minutes to swap the battery. So though it is not a very shortest time like how you fill the petrol and diesel, but this maybe if the technology is changing in the coming years, maybe this 3 minute can be reduced to 1 minute as well. The next one is about the plug-in EV charging. So plug-in EV charging, you know very well. So now you have the smartphones, and smartphone you are charging. Earlier you charged with the slow charging. Now you are getting fast charging. Okay, adapters for your mobile phones. Likewise, if you look at it, even now the Samsung has introduced very fast charging, okay, high speed charging technology, and which can charge within 30 minutes, and so, okay. And if this is the case, so for EV electric vehicles, so we also need these different kind of charging technologies. Why? Because maybe in your house, okay, during the night time, you no need to charge very fast. Okay, it can be enough to charge very slowly. Okay, especially also in the office premises or any other locations where your cars can withstand for or you park for more than 3 to 4 hours. So there you can charge slowly. Medium charging is required in places where you go and for the shopping mall or supermarket or any other locations. Okay, so there you need the medium charging. Fast charging is mainly required when you are commuting from one place to another place. For example, from Kolhapur to Pune, if you charge, uh, you need very fast charging because you are traveling. You don't want to take more time in this case. Okay. So EV charging roadmap, if you look at it, this is especially has a very range of current or the power level. So they have been introduced in 2016. Now we are in 2020, and recently China has introduced this 900 kilowatt system. It's one of the fast charging standard at 900 kilowatt. Whereas other companies like Tesla, even they have introduced 135 kilowatt only. Okay, so if this is the case, and you can look at India also GBT charging. It is around 237 kilowatt, which is introduced in India. Okay, so it's available in India as well. So if this is the scenario, so the companies are planning to invest more on this kind of EV charging roadmap, and many industries they set up the EV charging stations in India now. Okay, even though there is no much electric vehicles, you can see that even in the villages now they started installing this EV charging. So one important thing about the EV charging is the ABB is the company which is pioneer in this particular domain. So they are into this e-mobility solution like e-bus depot or en-road charging or commercial fleet charging, industrial fleet, or fast charging in the roadside stations like your toll gate or toll booths, etc., or in the restaurants or in the when you are traveling from one place to another. Next one is about the public commercial parking facilities charging. So it doesn't require fast charging. Maybe the medium charging is enough. The next one is about apartment, hotel, and workplace destination charging, where you may need only slow charging. It doesn't require any fast charging, as well as the residential single home residential charging as well. So if this is the case, so you look at it, this could be the game changer in the coming years. And if you look at it, so this is going to change the entire industry scenario. You can see that what are the different type of heavy or commercial vehicle charging products are available. So you can see 24 kilowatt, 50 kilowatt, then up to 600 kilowatt it is available. So now if you look at it, you can see it's 24 kilowatt, either connectors type or pantograph down, or you can see that it could be of pantograph up. Okay, it depends on what you want to charge. Okay, so this is the case. Most of the locations, and if you look at it, sorry. So this is the one of the fast EV charging technology which is introduced by ABB. And if you look at it, so how fast it is charging? It is charging in the rate of 20 seconds. So this is what the importance, okay, given here. So let us see the video. So now you are able to see this electric bus, okay, so which has been coming to this bus stop, and you can see that the connector terminal, the charging terminal, the arm will be going up. So the arm will be going up and charging during the passengers are getting in and getting out. Okay, so this is the important thing. So now let us see the technology. 600 kilowatt, so it takes 20 seconds to charge. So that means during the time the passengers are getting in and getting out. This is what the advantage, okay, in this fast charging technology. So what are the units are there? Battery is there, automatic energy transfer system is there in the bus. Then the bus is going to the stop. In the stop, you should have this charging infrastructure, okay? That means terminals. So in order to charge these electric buses, so you need a very good infrastructure. What are the things you need? You need energy transfer receptacle, converters, grid. These are things required in the bus stop, each bus stop. And the buses are equipped with a traction converter as well as the motors. Okay, so this is what one of the finest thing, and this technology has been introduced in Ashok Leyland in Chennai for the fast charging of the electric buses. So this technology is not new. Actually, it has been introduced in Europe already, and the same technology they are bringing to India. Now, next thing is about the wireless power transfer. So, what is meant by wireless power transfer? So, we have discussed the two important technologies like plug-in charging and battery. Okay. So here, if you look at wireless power transfer, so it's not new. It is introduced in the year 1830 by Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Then Tesla has introduced this in this concept in 1890s, and 1990s GM General Motors, they have adopted this system for inductive charging. Then in 2007, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so they demonstrated 60-watt low efficiency wireless charging system. And if you look at now, they are at present they are planning to enter into the EV chargers wireless charging market. Okay, like Qualcomm, Delphi, Geist. So they already developed some prototypes and for this wireless power transfer (WBT). So what is mean by wireless power transfer? So it has either inductive or capacitive. So it's something. It's nothing but what we studied in our electromagnetic theory or field theory. So which explains more about inductive and capacitive transfers. And it requires a high voltage and high frequency. Then typical operating frequency, if you look at it, is around 10 to 145 kilohertz. No cables are needed, and the battery size can be reduced because of these advantages. So in this, if you look at, so there are three different type of charging is available. So one is for the static charging when it is when you place your vehicles in the parking. Second one is opportunity charging when you place in the natural stopping points. Okay. Then third one is a dynamic charging when the vehicle is on the road, when vehicle is moving. So this is so-called dynamic charging. So if you look at it, the left one is nothing but static charging. So it's nothing but where you park your vehicle so that there your vehicle will be charged. The second diagram, what you see is a picture. It shows the dynamic WPT infrastructure. So it's a dedicated road where no other vehicle will be allowed, only these vehicles will be allowed, and the vehicle will be traveling exactly on the mid where you can see that this infrastructure is installed in the mid of the road. So this one will charge your vehicle when the vehicle is moving, okay, wirelessly. So this is what the technology. So they demonstrated in Europe this kind of technology. So you need a very high frequency, so but within the level, okay. So that it won't harm to the humans as well as the other animals and living beings. In India, if you look at exactly on during the COVID-19 lockdown, maybe on July 2020. So India has introduced this kind of India's first public EV charging plaza in Delhi. Here you can see that the charging infrastructure is facilitated here, and you can see that the parking space also allotted for the EVs, okay, for charging. So you can go and park so that your vehicle will be charged. When you look at the EV charging, so the wireless charging is getting much attention. So you can see the very clear picture in the top. You can see how the inductive charging is taking place by using the principle of electromagnetic field, energy transfer, and you need a AC to DC rectifier as well as energy management system, which could charge your battery inside the vehicle. Okay. And you can see that many companies they have already introduced, like a Volvo, Infinity, so plugless power. So they have introduced the way this kind of wireless charging, and especially in China. So they have, you can see that the cars are on the road already, and this technology is already available. So one of this kind of technology is called Vitricity, which has been introduced by the US company. And if you look at it, so this is taken as a roadmap or the reference technology for all the car companies. So let us see how this Vitricity is charging your vehicle. So you can see now this is technology is called Vitricity, and you can see that it is a single residential parking in your house where you go to your parking location and you park. You can see this IoT display which shows whether you exactly place your plate above the charging plate. So once you placed exactly, it will show you stop, and it will also show you the how much percentage, okay, and it will also show the battery range, how much kilometer you can travel. So why this is very important, and why? Because it's high performance and it is suitable for any type of vehicle. So which is around 3.6 kilowatt to 22 kilowatt drive system, and you can charge this, and it is having a very good efficiency around above 90%. Convenient, easy and safe. You can use it in your home. It can be suitable for any type of vehicles, sports, sedan, SUV. And the same technology, you can see it doesn't require more space, and it requires only less space, and it is very simple and convenient to use. So far we have seen different type of charging, especially battery, then plug-in, then wireless. Okay, so this is fine with us, but we know very well we are already facing the EMI/EMC challenge because of the 4G and 5G networks. Okay, even in the smartphone. So if this is the case, and we are already started using the microwave oven, many electronic devices which is emitting the radiance, okay, or interference, okay, electromagnetic interferences. So if this is the case, how the electric vehicles will affect, okay, in terms of EMI. So what are the compatible measures we need to follow? For example, if you look at it, so this is the battery pack which is connected to DC to DC converter. So this DC to DC converter, if you look at, so which is going to be utilized for charging your batteries. Then if you see in the right side, so you have a motor control unit, which could be again the power electronic converters. Then motor will be connected to the power electronic converters. Now, if you look at it, so what are the challenges? If you see, the motor has been designed in such a way that It should be bonded with the wire, laminated. Then it should have a bearing support. Then to avoid this EMI issues. Okay, so all these things you need to take care when you design the motor. Second thing, why? Because the motor will get the interference from the converters, power electronic converters. Not only that, your battery is also in much danger. Why? Because the battery is connected to the DC to DC converter. So you should have a very good safety norms inside your vehicle. And that's the reason if you look at it, so communication lines are separate, electrical lines are separate, and signal lines are separate inside the vehicle, the wires. Okay. And the battery should be having a very good isolation, and it should be grounded because to avoid any shock. Okay, in the event of any failure or in the event of any short circuit or something, so your battery should be safeguarded first. Okay, so this is the scenario. When you look at the EV market, if you look at present, you know very well. So many companies are in the competition, and what they are focusing on is many segments: body design, energy source, electric propulsion, auxiliaries, everything. Among this, so the importance is given to batteries as well as the battery charger nowadays. So because this business or this segment is expected to grow much large. Okay, so if this is the scenario, what is expected is this market is going to be more advantage, and this is getting much attention in the coming years. Okay, so let us look at the projection from the years 18, 19, 21 up to 25 and 26. Okay, so it is expected that in 19 to 21, it is around 50,000 charging stations in India, and norms are there, and total EV charges is expected to be 3 lakhs. Okay, in this, slow charges are around 80%, and fast charges could be of 20%. Okay, so if this is the case, so that means 2,40,000 slow charges and 60,000 fast charges could be expected by the year 2021. Okay, the same if you look at it, it is expected to be number of EV charging stations is expected to be around 4 lakhs at the end of 2025. So among this, around total EV charges to be installed is expected to be around 24 lakhs. Okay, and among this, the AC slow charges will be 17 lakhs, and fast charges could be of 7 lakhs. So this is the expectation of the next 5 years. Okay, and now if you look at it, so there are various segments that you know very well. Recently, Mahindra they introduced a Trio. It's a 3-wheeler segment. Likewise, so we need charging technologies for 2-wheeler, 3-wheeler, private vehicle, as well as the commercial and buses. If you look at 2-wheeler segments, private and commercial. So private, as of now, if you look, we are using the personalized charging facility, okay, and battery swapping. Commercial segments, as of now, they are using the battery swapping, but in the near future, they will shift it to public charging, okay, because there is no public charging as of now. In 3-wheeler segment also, presently they are using the battery swapping, but in the future they will shift it to public charging. That means we need the infrastructure. So this is applicable for private vehicles, but commercial vehicles and the buses, if you look at it, so they are also using the battery swapping now, and maybe very soon they will shift it to public charging once the public charging has been established in India. So this is the scenario. Okay, so where we are now, so this is what I'm showing here. Okay, and this is the excellent projection by Indian government. So with this, if you look at it, so various other technologies also expected to grow. For example, IoT or blockchain technology, or if you look at artificial intelligence technology. So there it will also grow because it is required to monitor all your data inside your vehicle or outside the vehicle or battery charging, everything. Okay, so all these technologies will help in the coming years to for this electric vehicle charging. Okay, and apart from that, there is a huge potential for engineers, especially almost all the engineers are required for the coming years to work on this particular technologies. So I hope so. So your focus should be on this, and even as a startup company, so you can focus on these things. Okay, for example, this how to embed this IoT in this electric vehicle, how you can monitor the various parameters. For example, what is the state of charge in the battery? So all those things you can work and you can embed in the display. Okay, in the coming years. So if you look at it, not only the Indian government, around various governments in the world, so they have started. Even in Gulf also, if you see in Saudi as well as in Dubai, they have introduced this system. So those who is buying the electric vehicle, so they say that they no need to pay for parking. Okay, actually here we are paying for parking. Okay, and they said for electric vehicles no parking charges. Okay, and this is the scenario. Okay, it is expected to grow multi-floor in the coming years. Okay, or the next 5 years. But what are the challenges? You have a lot of challenge. For example, we don't have fixed e-rickshaw stands and charging points because it's just started. Okay, then substandard charging equipment. So we don't have any make in India products or make in India companies, and there is no many companies focusing on this kind of charging equipment. The third one is electricity theft. So that is another huge challenge, and this could be monitored as well as how they can overcome these issues is the challenge. And the same time, if you look at the regulations, so the government has to introduce the private or the state government or any other entity, okay, stakeholder, they have to introduce various new rules for setting up the charging station. Even though it is available in the draft policy, which is introduced by the central government as well as the each state government, but still we need more and more improvements in these regulations. Then another thing is the standardization of charging infrastructure and mandate the fuel station into charging points. So whatever the existing petrol pump, okay, or the petrol station, so it could be replaced with the EV charging station. So that also they are promoting it in the coming years. So this is the scenario of the present situation of the electric vehicle charge. Okay, and this is going to be getting a much attention. So both battery swapping as well as the private charging as well as public charges. These three segments is going to play a major role. Okay, mixed role in the coming years. But mostly, if you look at it, so they are thinking about more public charging facilities rather than battery swapping and personalized charging. Okay, because everybody cannot afford, okay, the private charging as well as the battery swapping. So that's the reason. So they are going for public charging facilities. So in order to have these things should happen, so you need to have something called very good infrastructure. Before all the vehicles become electric vehicle, you need to have this infrastructure. Okay, otherwise it's very toughest. Okay, to charge your electric vehicles. And if you look at it, so along with this EV charging, EV industry, so other industries also getting much attention. Like you need to have a very good smart building. In if you want charging facility in your house, your house should be of a good smart home, okay, or smart building, or it should be like a smart city where you can get the public charging facilities, or your grid should be a smart grid so that the grid can support both the renewable battery fuel cell, etc. Okay, So this is expected to be the future smart cities. So we'll have everything will be managed using the electricity with the help of the renewable and green energy resources. So this is what expected in the coming future. Okay. So in order to make all these things to happen, your infrastructure, so you need to think about growing electricity demand need to reduce the CO2 emission, constraints on the existing networks. So all these 3 points you take into account, but with the help of the technology, active government and active end user, you can make it happen. Okay, this smart grid. So once you make the smart grid, so what will happen? This is the existing grid, you know very well. So somewhere in the long distance, power is generated and transmitted and distributed to the consumers like residential, industry, building, etc. Okay, but so what is required as of now is it's not the conventional grid. We need a two-way grid, smart grid. How? We need to establish the more renewable energy plants. These renewable energy plants should be integrated to the transmission lines, as well as it could be installed in the distribution side as well as in the consumer side. Okay. Once all these things happen, and now you can make the consumer very active because now they introduce a lot of apps and you can able to monitor or watch how much you consume the electricity using your internet. So with these facilities, you are making the consumer more active. That means the consumers are participating more. Yeah, because of this, what will happen? So in the coming years, the EV charging is possible once these things are in the place. Okay. And not only that, you also have very good communication technology and software technology, so which is making a grid as a smart grid. And because of this, the EV charging is possible in the coming years. Okay. So how you can make the EV charging happen is making it as an efficient home, then flexible distribution and smart generation, and it gives a very good demand response. So because of all these three factors, your grid will become smart grid to charge your EVs in the coming years and the near future. Okay. And not only that, the energy storage is also going to play a huge role in the coming years, apart from regular charging. So, the battery energy storage technology is also expected to grow multifold in the coming years. So, you can see that along with the modernized or improved grid infrastructure, along with the electric vehicle and energy storage, you can achieve this in the coming years or the near future. So what expected in the coming in the near future? So a smart city, it should be looking like this only. Okay, you should have a very good grid, a local grid control, storage, renewable integration. You can add the storage. You can easily manage the load. You should have the remote diagnostics, and you should have a backup connection. Then you should have the option to monitor the status. Then you should have the billing, customer interaction, and you can see that how the EV is sparked. Okay, so in the coming years, and not only that, you can see in the left side. So this EV has been charging using the renewables. Okay, using the solar as well as the wind. Okay, so all these things in the place, then only you can say that the city is the smart city. Okay, so which can avoid the pollution as well as the emission. Okay, and which is technology enabled systems. So these are some of the examples of how the EV charging infrastructure can be established in the residential as well as the commercial locations and parking infrastructures. And not only that, in the coming years, there is a very huge opportunity for both battery as well as the fuel cell based things. Okay, because the fuel cell is getting much attention nowadays, and maybe in the next 5 years, the battery will dominate. After that, the fuel cell will dominate. Thank you so much for the patient listening, and I hope so. You might have got wonderful information from my today's discussion. If you have any questions or clarifications, welcome.
Dear participants, if you have any doubts, please ask. You can use chat box also. I think no doubts yet. Sir, Dr. Umashankar Subramaniam sir, really thank you so much for spending your valuable time to us for last 1 hour. And as of now, you have very clearly explained about that a new research area where we can concentrate. So most of the participants are from faculties and research scholars. So surely it will help the participants to go ahead with good thought, and they can get a good opportunity to do the research. Thank you, sir, for your even you are in busy schedule. You have joined with us today for 1 hour. You spend your valuable time. Thank you so much, sir, for giving a wonderful lecture. Behalf of all participants and Sanjay Ghoda University, thank you, sir. I think one query has come: what to do with the diesel or petrol car?
Nothing. It will be obsolete, and you need to throw away.
Can be replaced with renewable energy.
Yeah, yeah. Countries like India, maybe there is a huge opportunities for the workshop to convert the existing petrol and diesel vehicle to battery vehicle. Already, this has been started. So most of the workshops they are doing it.
Okay. Any other doubts? Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. See you.
Okay, thank you. So, dear participants, that valedictory ceremony will start at as expected at 3:05. Uh, like I already told, we need to please send the test. Whoever not submitted this MCQ test, please complete it. And now this is a time to submit the feedback of entire session of today. So already the chat box, the co-convener has posted that one. So please use it. Moreover, in the WhatsApp also they have posted. So please complete all feedbacks. If any missing is there, kindly complete all feedback and complete the test now. Validity will start sharp at 3:05.